Have you ever wondered what the best move in chess history is? Do you think you could spot that move over the board? Well, this is your chance. The following is a position from a game played in 1998 between Veselin Topalov with the white pieces and Alexei Shirov with the black pieces. Looking at this position, it's clear that black has a material advantage, but with bishops of opposite colors on the board, and this being a game between two 2,700 plus rated grandmasters, it's difficult to imagine black converting this material advantage to a victory. In fact, if you put this position to an engine, the computer will tell you that black is a little bit better, but many of the lines the engine recommends lead to a draw. It was in this position on move 47 that Shirov, playing black, made one of the greatest moves in chess history. Pause the video and see if you can spot the brilliancy. So if you pause the video and found the fantastic bishop h3, then you might just be a grandmaster. The engine doesn't even consider this move, but as soon as you play it, Stockfish says black is crushing. But what made Shirov consider this move? Let's consider some of the other options Shirov had. For instance, after bishop c2, white can respond with king f2, king f5, king e3, and after something like bishop e4, g3, a3, bishop a1, this is basically a drawn position. If we go back, we just showed how bishop c2 wouldn't work. What about bishop e4? Well, after king f2, f5, g3, king d6, king d4, what black's going to try and do is march their king around to the queen side. But after king c6, king e2, king b5, king d2, king c4, king e3, a3, now trying to march that pawn down to queen, bishop e5, king b3, white has the really sneaky king d2. After king a2, king c1, and black's not going to have any opportunity to cover this a1 square because the king's going to have to come out to b3. The white bishop will always be covering the queen square for the pawn. This position also ends in a draw. So we showed how bishop c2 doesn't work. We showed how bishop e4 doesn't work. What about bishop g4? Well, after king f2, king f5, king e3, white center their king, and this position's drawish as well. So the only move that wins for white is this fantastic bishop h3. White has to spend a tempo capturing the bishop. After g takes h3, both of white's pawns are doubled up on the h-file and can basically be stopped by white's lone g-pawn. If black hadn't taken the bishop and instead played king f2, black would have responded with king f5. After king f3, now black takes the pawn, and the king's forced to respond back, and so white's lost the tempo anyway. So how did the game play out? After Shirov played the magnificent bishop h3, white played g takes h3, and the game proceeded as follows. King f5, king f2, king e4, bishop takes f6. This f-pawn for black doesn't really matter anymore, because now that white's pawns are doubles on the h-file, all that black needs to stop white's pawn is this g6 pawn. Black then plays d4, blocking the bishop from covering this a1 square. White's got to get the bishop around, bishop e7, but that's all right. The black king is gonna move into position. King d3, bishop c5, king c4 with the tempo on the bishop, bishop e7, king b3, and it was in this move, on move 53, that white resigned the game. There's nothing white can do to prevent the black king from reaching the all-important c2 square, at which point the combination between the black king and pawns will be too much for the white bishop. For instance, white could play king e2, but then after black plays king c2, bishop e4, d3 check, king e1, a3, the bishop has to make a decision between the two pawns. White could capture bishop a3, but then black has pawn d2 check, king e2, and then pawn d1 queen. And obviously this is winning for black. So there you have it. If we go all the way back, bishop h3, the greatest move in chess history, an endgame bishop sacrifice between two super GMs that turned a dead draw into a brilliant victory, a move that to this day, engines don't even consider. A masterpiece from the Latvian Grandmaster. Let me know what you think of this move in the comments below. Have you seen anything better than this move? I'd love to hear what your favorite move is in chess history. If you like this video, subscribe. We have new exciting chess content coming every week. See you next time.